before we get started. My name is Sanji Moore. I'm an adjunct instructor here at Shorter College in the Criminal Justice Department, and I also teach a business law course and a college orientation course. And I'll be your facilitator this morning. And so I will give you a little bit more after we go through the order of the program. We will continue with our scripture, our statement of faith, and our announcements, and then I will give you some information about the Vine Street House, which is why we're here today. And I think you all will be very, very excited and truly blessed to learn all of the things that the Vine Street House will be offering you this year. God promised us that He will never leave us or forsake us. And so when we're traveling this journey, I don't believe in coincidences, and I don't believe that anything happens by chance. And so along the journey, things are placed in our path, and people are placed in our path, and resources are placed in our path to help us get to our destiny. And so you're not at Shorter College by coincidence. You're at a place that truly is a perfect fit for you and your needs, and at an institution that truly cares about you as a person and as a student, and is making your path to possible a reality. And so along this journey, again, we talked about those things that come up that aren't ideal. And so because you're at an institution that wants to see you finish what you started, we have a group of people that have been working very hard to make resources available to you at the Vine Street House. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about those resources, and then our guest speakers will tell you about the services that are going to be offered. God said that He will supply all of our needs according to His riches and glory. So here is God supplying some of your needs. So I want you to take a journey with me, and I will tell you a little bit about the Vine Street House. And if you look on the back of your program, you will see some of the information that I will be speaking about. So I want you to follow the road to the yellow door. What is the yellow door, you ask? This is what I want you to look for when you're looking for all of the things that you need to be successful as a student at Shorter College. And that door will be at 700 Vine Street in North Little Rock, Arkansas, which is right across from the gymnasium on the corner of Vine Street. And so this is the Vine Street House. It was originally conceptualized as a health and wellness clinic, but for the fall of 2008, the services have been revamped. And you will see the services that are going to be offered, and we're going to discuss these in more detail throughout the program. One of the things at the Vine Street House is the community garden, which is open to the public. And if you've been over there and you've seen some of the great produce that was created and grown this summer, and there's still some things out there, so it's not too late to go over there and get a couple of peppers or some cucumbers, or one of the things that I enjoy is the fresh mint, because I like to infuse that into my water. This was one of the AmeriCorps volunteers that helped implement this. As you can see, the peppers, that's basil, plenty of fresh herbs over there, so please go get them before they go to waste. You can see a cucumber on your left, some okra on your right. These are some of the amazing products that were grown this summer at the Vine Street House, and it's still growing into fall. Also on Wednesdays, you can go to the clothes closet if you need a business attire outfit, and look for that sign. On Wednesday from 12 to 4:30, you'll see that sign out in the front yard that says the clothes closet is open today. This is Miss O.C.B. Johnson. She's a graduate of Shorter, now pursuing her bachelor's at Euler, and she is the mastermind behind the clothes closet. It looks truly professional, and this is O.C.B.'s work. And so when you go over there, you can go through the racks, find something for an interview, or just if you need clothes in general. On the first and third Thursdays from 12 to 5, if you're in need, we were talking about sometimes life being unfair. Look for that sign on the first and third Thursday, and you can go and get some things that will help you make it so that hunger won't be an issue that prevents you and your family from reaching your full greatness here at Shorter. These are some of the things and the items that are available in the food pantry on Thursday. So the Vine Street House is here to assist you. And remember, what do I want you to do? Say it with me. Follow the road to the yellow door. All right, so remember that yellow door. Y'all are gonna remember that? And you have the schedule on the back of your program. Let's look. So we're going to talk about some of these things as we introduce our guests for today. And so on Mondays, we have the Health and Wellness Clinic, which is being done in collaboration with the Harding University College of Pharmacy. And here today to tell you about those services is Dr. Jeannie Smith, and she's the Experiential Education Director at Harding University College of Pharmacy. Dr. Smith will be the first to speak. And again, on Monday is when you can see her and her colleagues, and she will tell you about some of the things that will be available. On Wednesdays, we will have career planning and employment services, both from Arkansas Workforce Services in North Little Rock and Little Rock. And here to tell you about some of those is Ms. Wanda Lewis, who is a career consultant at North Little Rock Arkansas Workforce Center, and Ms. Christina Gully, who is a career counselor at Little Rock Arkansas Workforce Center. And I just want to note that some of the names on the program have been changed. So that's why you see those names listed there, and you're going to have to make the amendment. And on Thursdays, we will have vocational rehabilitation services. And here to tell you about that today is Ms. Serena Wallace, who is an administrative specialist with the Arkansas Department of Workforce Services, and she works with the Arkansas Transitional Employment Assistance Division, which is what we know as T. So we're going to go ahead and welcome our speakers up. Dr. Smith, if you want to come on. Again, this is Dr. Jeannie Smith with Harding University College of Pharmacy. She doesn't need a mic.
I'm a teacher, so I can be loud. It's so good to be with you today. I recognize some of your faces from when we were here last Monday during our first screening over in the evidence room. What we're so excited about doing is coming in and providing some service. Get some feedback in here because I'm so loud, right? Providing some service for you for health and wellness related issues. So if you came last week, you saw a little picture of what we're going to be doing most Mondays in this academic year. So we're going to be screening for blood pressure, cholesterol panels, lung function, your height and weight. Who likes to get on the scale? Nobody, right? Okay, so yeah, good. Things like that. We're going to be providing some nutrition education. We'll come and bring some of our friends from Harding to do some anxiety and depression screening, some mental health services. So we're going to be, it'll be pharmacists and anywhere from 3 to 4 pharmacy students coming every Monday to provide these services for you. So we're so excited to be here. Looking forward to the collaboration. Just learned this morning in a meeting before we joined you here in chapel that there is a medical clinic that's not too far from Shorter College. If we are in this screening situation, we get a really high blood sugar number, a really high blood pressure number. maybe not high enough that we think you should go to the hospital, but that you need immediate medical care, that we can refer you to that clinic that day. So we're really excited about that collaboration moving forward. So again, thank you so much for having us today. It's a blessing to be here. We have daily chapel services at Harding, and so it's good to be in an educational facility that emphasizes faith, and we're just so glad to be here today. So looking forward to working with you all as this year unfolds. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. How many of you all took advantage of the screenings that were offered last Monday? Raise your hand. Excellent. So you know that they're going to be offered continuously. I took advantage of them, and I'm on a journey to my best self, and a part of that is my physical health. I'm trying to drop a few pounds. And so I was very pleased to find out that I had very excellent cholesterol numbers. My blood pressure was good. What else did they screen for that day? Blood glucose was good. And so it made me encouraged to keep on my journey towards my best physical health, because we know that for our community in particular, heart disease is the #1 killer. And so we want to make sure that we're healthy. And that's a part of your success as a student at Shorter, right? Because if you're not physically healthy and mentally healthy, then the rest of it is going to be hard to move forward with. A couple of more announcements, and I will make them brief so that we can continue with our program. One, in the center of that table, you will see a white sheet of paper, and it's a petition with the Sherman Park community to get sidewalks in this community. And so we want this community surrounding Shorter to be beautified and look good and be safe for our residents and for you. So please sign the petition before you leave. Ms. Gully will follow Ms. Wanda Lewis, who is at the North Little Rock Workforce Center. But the reason why I was introducing Ms. Gully is because she asked me to remind you that on Saturday, October 27th, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., Shorter is a sponsor with the Arkansas Records Management, and they will be holding its first annual North Little Rock, Neighborhoods Beautification, Recycle, Drop Off, and Shred event here on the parking lot of the gym. And you can get with her to see what items you can bring to recycle and to shred. And then also they're asking everyone to bring a canned good to support Baskets with a Purpose. And there will also be grilled hot dogs and drinks on site. So that's Saturday, October 27th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And we're going to continue with Ms. Wanda Lewis, who is a career consultant at the North Little Rock, Arkansas Workforce Center.
Thank you so much. Again, good morning to you.
Good morning.
I'm Wanda Lewis, and I'm a career consultant with the Arkansas Workforce Center at 324 West Pershing here in North Little Rock. And I know that some of you have visited the Workforce Center, and I have visited with some of you here at Shorter College. Today, I'm not going to take a lot of your time, but I'm just going to tell you a few things about the Workforce Center. Our main priority at the Workforce Center is job placement. We'd like to help get people and clients into the workforce. The main thing I want to talk to you today about is WIOA funding, which stands for the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act. This is money from the Department of Labor. It's in the form of a grant, and it does not have to be paid back. It is up to $10,000 over a 2-year period. And what we do is take, for instance, that you've gone out and you've looked for jobs, you can't find a job, but you need a job, and you're going to school, but you still need to work. Well, this is the time that you need to apply for WIOA if you need more skills to get back into the workforce. Now, for WIOA funding, you do have to be eligible, and you do have to select an occupation in demand and an eligible training provider. Now, what I mean by this is most of the schools in the central Arkansas area are on the list, the 2-year colleges and the 4-year colleges. The eligible training providers would be several of the schools, including Shorter College. The occupations in demand, of course, if you're going to school, you want to go to school for something that you can get a job in the field of. And this is what the state of Arkansas does. They do research each year for what's called the ACRS list, and that stands for the Arkansas Consumer Reporting System. And that is the demand list, the occupations in demand. Now, you do have to be eligible for WOA funding. We have several categories. Dislocated worker, if you've been laid off from a job due to no fault of your own and you're eligible for unemployment, then you would be eligible. If you've worked for a company that has closed down, then you would be eligible as a dislocated worker. If you receive T, SNAP, or SSI, this would make you eligible for the funding. If none of the above, what we would do is we would take your income from the past 6 months and we would annualize your income to determine your eligibility. And we go with the state poverty list. So, you know, we do have the adult program, we have the dislocated worker program. There's also a youth program between the ages of 16 and 24. They can go to school, or we also have a work experience program, which is a real good program, where they work out in the Central Arkansas area, and WOA pays their wages. We also have several agencies located in the Workforce Center. We can do assessments. We have GED. You can come to GED classes or get your GED for free. There's no cost whatsoever for anything at the Workforce Center. We can help you with resumes. You can get your copies made. So we have several services that are free. I want to invite all of you to the Workforce Center, and if I can do anything to assist any of you, I will be more than glad to. I've already worked with some Shorter College students and had one that was just enrolled, and he's in school now. So again, I just want to tell you there's a lot of good services at all the Workforce Centers. There's a Workforce Center in each county. If you live in the city limits of Little Rock, we have someone here today that's going to come up and speak to you. And so if you live in the city limits of Little Rock, you would go there to apply. If you live outside the city limits of Little Rock, but anywhere else in Pulaski County, then you would go to the Workforce Center here in North Little Rock. There's a Workforce Center in Benton, which serves all of Saline County, a Workforce Center in Conway that serves all of Faulkner County, a Workforce Center in Lonoke that serves all of Lonoke County, and there's a Workforce Center in Brinkley that serves all of Prairie and Monroe counties. I want to invite you to any of the Workforce Centers. If you need to make copies or anything, or if you need to make your resumes, please do not pay for them. We can get them done for free at the Workforce Center. Thank you so very much, and I hope to see you all, and I wish each and every one of you the very best. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Lewis. She just gave you a wealth of information. I'm sure you all are taking notes and jotting these things down. And we're going to continue with this Wednesday career planning and employment services discussion with Ms. Christina Gully, who is at the Little Rock. She's on the other side of the river, Arkansas Workforce Center. So again, these services will be available on Wednesday. What's today? Wednesday. Guess who's going to be over there at the house after this chapel? And there will be refreshments, so you all can make your way over there after we leave here to start getting your resume together and discussing some of these things. Ms. Gully.
I don't need a microphone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Christina Gully. I am a career counselor with Arkansas Workforce Services in Little Rock. Just to piggyback off of Ms. Lewis for a little bit, we offer the same services in Little Rock, 5401 South University, for the exception of the funding. Now, we offer $5,500 per year for funding for 4-year universities. If it's a 2-year or a technical school, it's $4,500. Okay, and we also offer $1,500 the 2-year span of for supported services. And what I mean by supported services is if you need assistance with your books, that can come from supported services. With uniforms or shoes for on-the-job training, if you're majoring in nursing, if your nursing exam paid for, your English, those things fall under supported services. Gas voucher, transportation, bus pass, that falls under supported services. You have to be in your junior and senior year of college in order for us to pay. You also have to be eligible for the program. It is centered around the low income and those of you who are dislocated workers, meaning you're laid off from your job. You have any questions? Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am. So my question is, can the grant money be used in collaboration with our federal Pell grant?
Yes, it doesn't take away from that. So if you're getting a Pell grant, you still, if you're eligible, that is, you still can receive some services from Arkansas Workforce Services. So.
Thank you.
I do want to also address this gentleman's question. How it happens is that whatever your financial aid did not cover and your grant, then we subtract that from the funding that we're going to supply. If you're doing a 2-year college, it's $4,500. We'll subtract that from that amount and pay the balance off. We do not mess with student loans.
Right.
That's something you're responsible for. Okay. So whatever the balance is, we'll pay it off and subtract the amount that that you're going to be allotted for that program.
Now, what we don't do is, like, say if you don't pass the course, we will not pay for that. Okay? We've had some students to come to us that were eligible and they want us to pay for their outstanding debt in college. We will not pay for that. You have to be new to the program with no debt owed to the university, so, or the technical school. There was something else I was going to mention. Okay, some of the things that's required to be enrolled. You have to be a resident either in Little Rock, I'm speaking specifically for Little Rock. You're in North Little Rock, for North Little Rock. You have to have your birth certificate and signed Social Security card. If you're not receiving food stamps, housing, or tea, you do have to provide the last 6 months of your income, your pay stubs, or your tax return. You have to fall within the poverty guidelines. Also, you're required to take a TABE exam, and that test is over your language literacy and math. Depending on which field you're going into, there is certain scores, like if you're going into, say, CNA training, we require that you score a 10 in all 3 areas, okay? If you fail a portion of it, you can go back and retake that portion of the exam. It's now computer-based, and we also have a CRC, which is the Career Readiness exam. If you pass that, we can use that in the place of the TABE. And a lot of people say that the CRC exam is a lot easier than the TABE exam. It's the math portion. So some things to consider. Let's see. If you're wanting a gas voucher, you would have to bring in your car registration and insurance. If the car is not yours, the owner would need to write a letter saying that you have permission to use their vehicle. Does the same apply for the insurance? Well, Deborah? It does. Okay. So.
Ms. Gully, thank you so much. And so, how many people knew about some of these things that they've been talking about? So you're learning new things. I've heard a lot of things that will meet some of the obstacles and barriers that, feel free to have a seat if you like. We're going to have an opening for question and answers. Some of the barriers that you all may face. Transportation. As students at Shorter College, you have free bus passes. Food. We have the pantry. Clothing. So on Wednesday, you can get your career services and get something to wear for your interview. Because one of the purpose of coming to school for your education is to reach your goals and your dreams. And I would imagine one of those is working either for yourself or for someone else. So these people are going to prepare you to continue the process and either get you possibly working now. So all of the barriers that may be in place, some of those ugly and bad things that I talked about in life, these resources are here for you all to take advantage of. And we have money to help you pay for your education so that you can lessen that student loan debt. Don't get comfortable with that student loan debt. We're going to continue with our Thursday provider, which is going to be for vocational rehabilitation services. And here to talk about some of that a little bit is Miss Serena Wallace, who is an administrative specialist with Arkansas Department of Workforce Services, and she's going to tell you a little bit about that. Let's give Ms. Wallace a hand.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I work for Department of Workforce Services. My name is Serena Wallace. We are located at 5401 South University. I work with the T department. Have anyone ever heard of the T, Transitional Employment Assistance? Well, we offer a monthly cash assistance. We provide transportation, child care. You do have to get pre-qualified for these services. The determination will come through Department of Human Services. You have to have someone in the home 18 years or younger to qualify for those services. So we also offer vehicle repair, and it is stipulations with that. So I did bring some pamphlets that you can look at, and also some T applications. You have to have no income to apply for these services. So do you have any questions? No questions?
And go ahead. We're going to go ahead and transition into our question and answer service. So the young lady with the question.
With that T program, isn't it, don't you have to have children for that?
Yes, 18 years or younger in the household.
I know there was so much information that you received today, and so remember, what are we going to do? We're going to follow the road to the yellow door at 700 Vine Street, and the person that you will meet there to greet you with a smile is Mrs. Paula Pumphrey. Come on up, Mrs. Pumphrey. And she's our community relations liaison and also the coordinator at the Vine Street House. And I will allow her to say whatever she likes, and then I wanted to recap some of these services. And I believe Mrs. Washington wanted to show you a video, so if you have time to stay for a second, but don't forget there are some refreshments over at the house, 700 Vine Street. Follow the road to the yellow door for you all. But we're gonna try to squeeze in a lot of things in closing the chapel up. But Mrs. Pumphrey?
Well, I just want to thank everybody for coming, and I do want to encourage you to come to the Vine Street House. These resources are available now, and we want to be able to continue the resources over the next few years here at Shorter College. There are not any other colleges right now that I am aware of in the state that have all of these services on their campus. So consider ourselves very fortunate to have these services. The way to keep the services and keep these people coming here and servicing you guys is to use them. Because if you don't use them, you're gonna what?
Lose them.
Right. So on September the 13th, which is next week Thursday, if you need help on a resume, and I know Ms. Sanjay was gonna make the announcement, but we're very fortunate to have all day on this campus the Arkansas Department of Workforce Services mobile unit. So you don't have to go to university. You don't have to go to university. You can come right over there and sign up for whatever you need to have help with. If you already signed up, come and update your information. But come and use it. It's going to be over on the parking lot by the gymnasium next Thursday, the 13th. And thank you very much. I want to thank Professor Moore for standing in and doing this. And also, I want to acknowledge that last semester, she had her entire class to make a commitment as their volunteer responsibility to the Vine Street House. And that was very much needed, and we need more classes to volunteer their students, and so we're very appreciative of their commitment.
Thank you, and we're continuing that. I'm teaching that same course this semester, which is College Orientation 3, and that's the course that wants to foster a sense of giving service back to your community and those around you. So we're going to be continuing that relationship in College Orientation 3. And my students, overwhelmingly, we took a tour last week, and they said, we want to help, we want to donate food, we want to donate clothes. And so that relationship is going to continue, and we look forward to doing whatever we can.